Booyah! What's up, everyone? Geek Violet X3 here, and now that it has been a month since the news was dropped that we are going to be getting an MLP live-action movie, I still can't fucking get over that news. A live-action MLP movie. I've seen everything now. Now that it has been a month since that news was released, I had an idea. And this was actually an idea that I was supposed to do like months ago, by the way. But the idea that I had was like, let's go ahead and discuss what a possible MLP live-action movie could be like. Because I've been going through this in my head, and I've been kind of like wondering and pondering, just what exactly are they gonna do? Now, there's a vast amount of possibilities that this could go in, and I've seen some people say, and I've seen some people's opinions about this. Now, let's go ahead and start off with like the only obvious answer. Let's go with scenario 1. Scenario 1 could be that we're going to be getting a live-action MLP movie that could be based on Generation 1. Now, the reason why I'm saying Generation 1 is because it would make sense. MLPG1 has human characters in it. Literally one of the main characters, I believe her name is Megan, who is actually one of the main human characters that hangs out with the main six, if you want to call them. It would make sense, and we could possibly even get like an MLP live action movie that's based on that, where we're in that specific world and it's gonna be live action, or it could be the basic movie of like, oh, a girl who lives on the farm and I feel bad for saying that. A girl who lives on the farm and who just so happens to run into talking colorful equines. So, or ponies if you want to be fucking specific. And so that's the direction that I could see the movie possibly going in. Personally, I don't see it being likely or possible that it's gonna go in that direction, but hey, you never know. You never know what they might do. So let's go with option B. Option B could possibly be that rhymed. Option B could possibly be a G4 live-action movie. Now, before any of y'all type anything in the damn comments, hear me out. I know G4 has been left to rest. R.I.P. I know that has been left to rest. It ended in 2019. Or was it 2020? No, it was 2019, yeah. So ever since it ended in 2019, we had a bit of a break, and then we started getting leaks and news updates about a new MLP movie coming out that would kick off the new generation, which was G5, A New Generation on Netflix. But the reason why I think that it's gonna be either one of the two is because if you think about it, G4 of course is the most popular one out of all of them. G4 is the most popular one. So it would make sense for them to capitalize on that and go like, hey, we could easily just make a G4 movie. And the style that I think that the movie would go in would possibly be maybe like a Sonic the Hedgehog live action movie scenario, where you have Sonic in his own world for like a bit in the first movie, and that's all CG animated. And then you get to the real world, and then of course you have the humans, and then the actual characters themselves who are CG animated. That kind of like live action CG hybrid. A lot of people are gonna say fucking no to this, but from what we've seen recently, from movies always getting the CG, from live action movies getting that CG look, it's most likely possible that that's the direction that they're gonna go in. I'm not the best direction entirely in general for this to have for MLP to get a live action movie ever since they fucking canned G5. We never know what could happen with this, or the style that they could go in. And this is me being very fucking hopeful. But imagine if we got an MLP live action movie where the human characters themselves, live action movie, blah blah blah, but the characters themselves would be 2D animated, kind of like 2D/3D animated. A good example is the Tom and Jerry live-action movie that came out in 2021, I believe. Didn't like that movie all that much because go look at reviews for the movie and you'll see why. But they could possibly do it in that kind of style, and I'd be down for that. But that would be me asking and hoping for too much. Now, another direction that they could also go in on where the movie would be based in, if they, well, that's me hoping that the movie would be just set in Equestria, but because it's a live-action movie, we know that it's going to be set in the real world. That's just me hoping that it's going to be like either 2D animated, 2D/3D animated, kind of like a mix between the two, or just straight up like CG hybrid. I don't know how to feel about what they would look like, because at the same time, they made Sonic look good. Really, really fucking good in the live-action movies. If we don't take into consideration what the hell he looked like before they redesigned him. But that's just me. That's where I see the movie possibly going. And now for the story, I can't even fucking tell you where I think the story is gonna go in. This is only a discussion about what I think the movie itself would be like what the movie itself would look like, the characters, and what timeline, which generation of MLP are we going to be setting this in. Now, if we go to G5, it would be the most logical for G5 to have a live action movie because G5 got cancelled. But ever since that Make Your Mark series got cancelled, they did still upload some episodes of the Tell Your Tale miniseries that they do on YouTube. Personally, I never watched it. I didn't really care all that much. Not hating on like the art style itself, but it's just like I never really even cared about it. So it's just like, why the fuck should I watch it? It would make the most sense for G5 to have that live action movie, so we could at least see these characters have a continuation in some form or fashion. Now, the other reason why that wouldn't make a lot of sense is because, if you guys don't know, the Make Your Mark series ended on a cliffhanger, where we had like this portal open after the characters returned from that winter world, and when we had that fucking cat villain, Aurora, I think it was, that the one who had like that fucking Margaret hairstyle going on. I don't fucking know, but it wouldn't really make sense to continue it from there, because then people would be like, well, wait a minute, the show ended on a cliffhanger, but now we're gonna be getting a live action movie? I could understand like some people being confused about that, so that's why I'm kind of like, okay, yeah, maybe that's not the direction that they're gonna be going in. To have a final verdict and a final conclusion about which generation this movie might be set in, I have a feeling that it's going to be G4, because G4 is considered the most popular. I mean, not even considered, it is. That's not even up for a debate. It's the most popular out of all of the generations. I am sorry to all of you people who like G1. I'm terribly sorry. I'm not saying that G1 sucks. I'm not saying that G1 was like a disgrace to MLP or G2 or G3.5. Okay, that was kind of a disgrace in itself. But anywho, G4 is what basically set MLP like on the map for like people, for like even more people who were adults who liked the movie. Like not just little girls, but like people who were adults who started like gravitating towards the show. And the reason why I think G4 is the best is because it dealt with a lot of issues, and with a lot of issues, personal issues that characters might go through. It dealt with serious topics that you wouldn't normally hear in a show that's made for children. That's why, for example, Bluey is such a great fucking show. I haven't watched most of the episodes, but from what my partner has told me, Bluey is, for example, such a good fucking show because it's not afraid to tackle those subjects and explain them, and it doesn't treat its audience like they're fucking stupid. It knows what the target demographic is, so it does a really good job in explaining those subjects to children who don't really know how to handle stuff like that. Like, especially for what the kid characters go through in that show. Like they do such a good job in explaining it so that the kids can understand it. They don't explain it where it's like very fucking complicated, so where the kids are just sitting there going like, what? So So that's why. So I know I just kind of went off on a tangent there, but I just had to. I just had to say it because Bluey is such a good fucking show. But back on topic. When it comes to the MLP live action movie, from what I think it's gonna set in, what timeline is gonna be set in, I have a feeling it's gonna be G4 just because it's the most popular out of all of them. But you never know. We'll just have to wait and see for a movie to come out. I just wanted to make a fun little video, kind of like speculating, kind of throwing theories out there of like, what this movie is gonna be like, you know? Because hey, it could be a fucking surprise that we're gonna be getting. It's gonna be set in G1. We never know. But that's all I can really say for now without really like stalling and dragging this out any further than I can. Let me know what y'all think in the comments down below. What do you think? What would be like the most logical way for them to go with this movie? Which generation do you think that you guys think it would be set in? Because I personally think that it would be G4, but I would love to hear your guys' thoughts about what you think about it. Now, the next video that I'll probably make about this is probably whenever the trailer gets released. We don't even have a date for when that's gonna come out. It's just gonna pop out of nowhere. Just kind of like how this fucking announcement just popped out of nowhere. Poof, into existence. But that's all I can say for now. Thank you all so much for watching, and if you haven't seen any of my other MLP videos, they're really old fucking videos, but it's where I basically discuss everything like leading up to MLP A New Generation. If you want to go check those out, feel free to do so. But that's all I can say. How many times am I gonna fucking say that? Holy shit. Thank you all so much for watching, and as always, I shall see you all, my lovely crackheads, in the next video. Love y'all. Peace.